Hello friends, I'm Kayla and this is my final quarterly wrap up of 2025. I've really liked doing these videos all year. I've done quarterly wrap ups for 10 years, but it started out, I just listed all the books that I read and all the ratings, and then I started doing stats, and then I turned it into this, which is where I kind of go through videos I've made and talk about my favorites and my least favorites, and then any community kind of stuff. So with that being said, let's pull up the quarterly information that I have. I read 64 books this last quarter. I read 20 in October, 20 in November, and 24 in December, which equals 64. That was 18,902 pages. And my average rating for the quarter was a 3.6. My first 2 quarters was a 3.5. My second 2 quarters was 3.6 each. So it is not yet known if my official average rating for the year is going to be a 3.5 or a 3.6. Which way it's going to round. I wanted so badly to have a 3.6 by the end of the year or above, because my reading years in the past have been declining. And I feel like this one was pretty good, but we'll see if the stats agree. I read a perfectly equal amount of new to me and read before authors, when I believe every other quarter new to me was higher, like significantly higher sometimes. The genre mix, the number one genre was fantasy, followed very closely by fiction and nonfiction, which were tied. Quite a bit of mystery, romance, horror, and then just a couple sci-fi anthologies and historical reads. Now we'll go through my videos, and I like to tell you my favorite from each video I made. So the most books that I read for a video in this quarter was my, where do I want to put the picture? I'll put it up here. So I'll hold this over here. 13 books in my Goodreads Choice Awards video, where I read something from each category. My very favorite from that experience was Jane Austen's book club with a 5-star. This was my only 5-star of December. But I also had a couple 4.5s, and those were Cursed Daughters and Till Summer Do Us Part. Although I also think I bumped up the Everlasting just a little bit. We had 3 episodes of the Buzzword Reading Challenge, so I read 6 books in that series. I got through 2 more Veronica Speedwells. Neither of those were above a 4, but I guess my favorite from all the Buzzword episodes was Your Favorite Scary Movie, because I gave this a 4.5. Read 5 books in this GeoGuessr video that was really fun. In this moment, I do not know where the nonfiction bookshop one is. I'm gonna try to find it for my stack photo. But my favorites from this video, I actually had 2 5-stars with What Strange Paradise and Headshot. I read 6 books in my most recent vlog. My last vlog of the entire year was a wintry one, holiday vibes. Nothing in that video was above a 3. I did a bug vlog where I read 4 books. I only have 2 of them. The other 2 must have been library or audiobooks. And I didn't love anything from that video. I did a bingo video where I was just reading some of my favorite tropes from a list of things that I love. And my favorite from this one was female fantasy. So good, at a 4.5 star. I did one vlog where I was reading authors that I haven't read from in 10 years or something like that. And my favorite was We Met Like This, but it was not above a 4. Oh, I did a sequels video. This can't be all of them. Oh, I'm missing a library book. And yeah, nothing in here was above a 4 either. We had 3 book club live shows in these 3 months. We did the Treasure Hunters Club and Futility. Oh no, we don't have one in December. So we did 2 book club picks. My favorite from that was Futility. I did one video where I just read the entirety of the Raven Scholar, 1 book, 1 vlog, and it was 5 stars. I had a besties book club where we read Why I Love Horror. This one was like a 4.5. And then I also made them a video where I read all of this, One Bad Night, and reviewed every story. That one was a 4. Then for my members TBR jar each month, I pull out a book that I have to read. One of them was Behold the Dreamers, and one of them was Metal Slinger. This one was a 5-star. It was already on my TBR. And then these ones I didn't make any content about, and I just read, you know, on my own. And the best one from here was Perfect Victims. And now for my stack of top rated reads that I just made, I get to tell you my absolute 5 favorites from the quarter. I guess I'm gonna do 6 because I had 6 5-star reads. Headshot, this is a boxing competition. We follow all the girls participating, their lives leading up to it and afterwards. Perfect Victims is a Palestinian sharing his thoughts, opinions, and life story regarding Palestine, genocide, and how media and people spin things, and people aren't believed and have to make themselves perfect victims in order for the rest of the world to care. Behold the Dreamers and What Strange Paradise are both refugee stories, immigrant stories, people who are fighting for a better life. A young boy arrives on a boat, everyone else has died, and it's how people see him and what he experiences. And then this is about a couple who moves to America and the messy dynamic they get caught up in. Jane Austen's Bookshelf is this fantastic biography of a bunch of women authors, forgotten or underappreciated in history, and how they might have inspired Jane Austen. And then The Raven Scholar is this kind of competition-based fantasy novel where different clans are fighting for power, and it's all about relationships and the games they participate in and just the world, and learning how everything works and what they've been told and if it's real or not. Then my 5 least favorites, Hot Wax, just because it had really weighty topics that were important for sure, but it was a pretty dull plot. The Unveiling, due to its chaotic style, like a woman is on a boat, and we as the reader felt very untethered, I feel, from the actual plot and what the book was doing. One of Our Kind for its unclear messages and just too many warring genres at the same time. Secret Santa, maybe just because I should have recognized such a gimmicky romance where you open a chapter every day. It would be the type of book that would end up in a gimmick like this. Not very quality. And then Hark the Herald Angels Scream, a short story collection that shoehorned in the theme too often for like half the stories, and then the other half of the stories were just kind of uninspired to me or felt like they were geared to a younger audience. Now for my creator section, I really only have a couple people, and I just haven't been watching a lot of BookTube lately, but the 3 people I wanted to tell you about. Covers with Cassidy, if you haven't checked out her channel, I really like her vibe, and she recently did a video where you could find out about a bunch of reading challenges happening in 2026 because she's gonna try participating in a bunch of them. And then Julie's Reading, I just wanted to shout out because she is, in my opinion, one of the best booktubers for watching somebody who fully understands the plots of the books that she's reading and is able to explain them to you in a nicely packaged way. And then Shelby and the book club has been doing Vlogmas, and I've been tuning into that, really enjoying the content. There was one specifically about recommendations, like holiday season reads, that I definitely am going to come back to for next year. Now a couple community things that we've been talking about. Okay, everybody who was tagging me asking if I saw that Lily from, I don't know how to pronounce the band's name, mentioned me in a video. Thank you so much for letting me know. I was bombarded by messages that weekend. People were so excited. She talked about how she watches me and a couple other booktubers and gets recommendations from me, and that was a surreal kind of experience. I wanted to update you on my celebrity lookalike video because I was doing tier rankings, and there were ones that people were agreeing with, and I just wanted to add into the mix everyone who mentioned my mom as my celebrity lookalike, Michelle Trachtenberg, Renee Rapp, Kathy Bates, Emma Stone, Amanda Seyfried, Nicola Coughlan, Ricky Lindholm, and Anya Taylor-Joy. So I'm gonna have to do another tier ranking next year where I add those people in and I decide if you're right or not. You know, that was equally a surreal experience talking about that. I posted in this last quarter a horror from the last 10 years, like the best horror according to Goodreads versus according to me. And I got a couple comments because there were moments in the video where I didn't have 8 from each year. I was making these little graphics and some of them had blank spots. And of course, because there's any opportunity for me to turn something into content, I'm gonna take it. So the people who mentioned doing a series where I try to find 5-star horrors from those years to fill in those spots, we will be doing that in 2026. Also, let me just quickly slip this in here because the quarterly wrap-ups This one at the end of the year just doesn't get that many views because who wants to hear about just my quarterly update when we're talking about end of the year stuff? So for the few of you who watch every single video, thank you so much for being here. And I'm gonna let you in on the fact that I am doing a TBR closet video or series. There's gonna be 26 books read from my TBR closet in the year of 2026. I don't know how many videos it's gonna end up being, but I am gonna let you choose how many books I read in the first video. So I am gonna organize my entire closet by the alphabet. There's gonna be a members video in the next couple weeks where I reorganize it all, alphabetize it, and then there's gonna be some sort of game or spinner wheel, if I decide to make a spinner wheel, because I'm not gonna buy one because they're so expensive, where I can write down all the A books in my closet, and then we spin it and we find an A book, and then we spin it again, we do a B book. I'm not going to do 26 videos for 26 letters, so there's going to be like A through C in one video, D through F in one video, but I don't actually have a number in mind of how many I want to do in each one. I'm just going to go until I don't want to go anymore, but I am going to let the comments on this video choose how many books I do in that first vlog. It could be 2, it could be 4, it could be 6, it could be 20. I guess it's up to you. So leave down below what you want, and then I will compile all of the data, and the first vlog will be decided by you for being here for every single one of my videos in the Lala Miss series. I also recently asked you if you wanted any changes to my buzzword videos. I asked you if there's anything you would want me to change or add, and you said no. Every single person said, these are absolutely perfect. Keep going. So I will be doing that for 2026. I asked if you thought me changing the Literally Dead Book Club from 10 months of the year to 9 months of the year would ruin your lives. And I don't think a single comment came in saying don't do it. So I am committed to that now. Thank you so much for, like, as a community coming together and helping me decide that. Because I told you in that video, if people were actually like mad about it, they would change my mind and I would keep going with it. Oh, and then in my guessing video, there were 2 different goddamn AJs. This is crazy, and I just needed to update somebody because as I was filming the video and putting together the guessing thing, I was guessing people's, if you didn't watch it, favorite book of the year. And there was someone named AJ, and I was guessing their #1 favorite. But then I also went back to their 2024 favorites and their all-time favorites to see if that would give me more information. And as I was looking at it, I was like, these are so different. Like, the vibes are so different. These don't actually help me. And that's because it was different AJs. And I thought I had done my due diligence because while each person linked to different social media, one of them was Storygraph, one of them was Instagram, the profile pictures looked similar enough that as someone who's never seen that person before, I was like, yeah, that's the same person for sure. And so I assumed, yeah, and then AJ commented and said, bitch, that's not me. So I just wanted to give you that little update on life. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Those are the comments that came in that I wanted to highlight. Oh, also though, there was one where Tyrion, I guessed You Weren't Meant to Be Human as a favorite, and it turns out after filling out the spreadsheet of their favorites, they did read You Were Meant to Be Human, and it turned out to be their favorite book of the year. So I manifested that in a way, and now I retroactively do get my 3 points that I wanted for that guessing video, but I will be doing another, even though it takes all of my brain power. I don't know why, but preparing for the video, getting all the graphics ready, trying to figure out who to do, trying to think up the answers, and then edit it afterwards, it's like a week of my life. I got so many very kind comments that said, I need you to do this every day, every week. This is my favorite series. Thank you so much. I think there were so many comments praising the video that somebody felt it necessary to comment, I actually want you to let you know I hate this fucking video series. And you know what? That's valid. And I always tell you, tell me whatever. Tell me whatever you want to tell me, and I will navigate my own feelings about that. So thank you so much for watching my quarterly update, my final one. And then I think from here, we're getting into least favorites. We're getting into favorites, tiered favorites, and then finally my everything I read this year, which is great. I need to, yeah, I'm surrounded by stacks of books. And now this pile of books that I've just dropped all over the floor. I need to get everything together and wait until there's a nice sunny day, because that's not today, and then I will film that and put it out. I'm so excited. Okay, bye.